If your firm stops running ads and the phone stops ringing, you don't have marketing. You have dependency. Most personal injury firms are stuck in it and don't even realize it. That's the topic of today's video, so let's get right into it. For those that don't know me, my name is Jesse Stewart, and I'm a paralegal turned SEO specialist. I help personal injury law firms generate more retained cases through retained client SEO without the PPC dependency. If you enjoy this type of content and want me to make more like it, hit the like button and let's get right into today's video. So let's start with what PPC dependency actually looks like inside a firm, because most owners don't see it until it's already a problem. It's simple. You turn on the ads, leads come in. You turn off the ads, leads stop. There's no middle ground, no cushion, no momentum carrying you through a slow month. Your intake numbers are tied directly to your ad spend, dollar for dollar. Most personal injury firms in competitive markets are spending somewhere between $10,000 and $30,000 a month just to keep the phone ringing at a steady pace. And some firms in the biggest metros spend well beyond that. And the second that budget gets cut, even for a single month, the pipeline goes quiet almost immediately. I've talked to firm owners who described it exactly like a faucet. Open it, water flows. Close it, nothing. That's not a marketing system. That's a rental agreement with Google, and you're renewing it every single day. Now, why do firms fall into this in the first place? Honestly, it's because PPC is fast. You set up a campaign, and within days, sometimes hours, you're getting calls. That speed feels like proof it's working, so firms keep pouring money into it instead of building something that lasts. There's also a comfort in it. It's measurable. You can see exactly what you spent and exactly how many calls came in. And that kind of clarity is appealing when you're running a busy practice and don't have time to think about long-term strategy. The problem is speed and ownership are two different things. With PPC, you're renting attention. The second you stop paying, Google stops sending you anyone. You're never actually built anything that belongs to you. You just borrowed a spot at the top of the page for as long as you kept paying rent on it. Let's dig into the hidden math for a second, because this is the part that really should worry firm owners. Cost per click for competitive personal injury keywords keeps climbing every single year. Firms end up in bidding wars against each other for the exact same handful of high-value searches, and every firm bidding higher pushes the price up for everyone else in the market. Right now, the national average for a single click on the term personal injury lawyer runs around $181. Broader personal injury and car accident terms typically run $150 to $300 per click. And the most competitive metro markets, some individual keywords can climb even higher than that. And that's for one click, not a lead, not a phone call, not a signed case. Just someone landing on your website for a few seconds. Here's the part that really gets missed. Every dollar you spend on ads this month does nothing for you next month. There's no compounding. You start from zero again every 30 days. Compare that to an almost any other business investment. If you buy equipment, hire staff, or improve your intake process, that investment keeps paying off month after month. PPC doesn't work that way. It's the only major expense in most firms that evaporates completely at the moment you stop paying it. There's also a brand cost to staying dependent on ads that doesn't show up on the spreadsheet. When a potential client searches for a personal injury lawyer and sees a wall of paid ads at the top, followed by organic results below, most people already have a sense of which is which. Paid placement doesn't carry the same trust as a firm that shows up because it's actually recognized as an authority. Clients searching for legal help are often scared, hurt, and looking for someone credible, not someone who simply outbid the competition that week. Firms that rely entirely on PPC are competing on visibility alone, while firms with real search authority are competing on trust before the client ever picks up the phone. So let's talk about the alternative, because this is where things actually start to shift. Owned search authority is when your firm shows up in search results because Google generally trusts your site, not because you paid a slot at the top. That trust gets built through real content, structured properly, that actually answers questions injured clients are searching for. Once you build that authority, it keeps working for you even on the months you don't spend a dime on ads. A page that ranks organically for a high intent search term like car accident lawyer near me can keep bringing in cases for years without another dollar spent directly on it. That's the fundamental difference. PPC is a faucet you have to keep turning on. Owned search is a well Owned search is a well you dig once and keep drawing from for a long time. And this is where the compounding effect really matters. Every piece of content you build, every page that earns trust with Google adds on to the next one. A firm that's been building own search authority for 2 years isn't starting from scratch every month, the way a PPC dependent firm is. They're stacking. Their 10th piece of content works alongside their first, second, and third. Over time, that stack becomes a genuine competitive moat, something a competitor just can't outbid their way past. You can't buy your way into 2 years of accumulated trust. That's the part PPC can never replicate, no matter how much budget gets thrown at it. So, how does a firm actually start making that shift? It starts with treating your website like a real asset and not just a landing page you point ads at. That means building real content around the actual questions injured clients are searching, from case-specific questions to general concerns about claims processes. It means having a site structure Google can understand and trust, with clear paths between related pages instead of scattered collection of disconnected posts. And it means building a steady stream of local signals, things like consistent business information, reviews, and local mentions. That tells Google your firm is a legitimate authority in your specific market, not just a website that happens to mention personal injury law. Now, I want to be honest about the timeline because it's usually where firms get discouraged and give up too early. This isn't an overnight fix, and I'm not going to pretend it is. Realistically, it takes about 12 to 18 months of consistent work before you see full, compounding organic case volume. That sounds like a long time, and it is, but here's why it's worth it. The first couple of months, Google needs time to crawl and index and start trusting new content, so you likely won't see much movement at all. That's normal. It's not a sign of failing. Somewhere in the middle of that window, you usually start to see early traction, a few rankings climbs, a bit of organic traffic trickling in. By the time you're deep into 12 to 18 month mark, that early traction turns into real, dependable pipeline. Firms that quit at month 3, right when it feels like nothing is happening, are quitting right before the curve bends upward. And once it's built, it doesn't turn off when your budget gets tight, and it doesn't reset every 30 days the way PPC does. It just keeps compounding in the background while you focus on running your firm. That's really the core of retained client SEO. It's not about flipping a switch and replacing every ad dollar overnight. It's about building a pipeline that doesn't disappear the moment you stop paying for clicks. Firms that do this end up with intake that's more stable month to month, cases that convert better because the client already trusts them before they even pick up the phone, and a marketing budget that isn't held hostage by rising ad costs every single quarter. If this hits home for you and you want to see more breakdowns like this, hit that like button. It generally helps us get in front of more firm owners who need to hear it, and it's the best way to get more of the content in front of you going forward. And if you want to go deeper on how to actually build to actually start building own search authority from firm, I made a video on exactly that. Check it out by clicking right here.